G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Beretta 1301 Tactical. This mod requires a Benelli M2 agency for it to work because, essentially, it's the same shotgun, but it looks a little bit different. The aesthetical changes are there, and there's a few stat changes here, but I feel like they're kind of negligible. But even though it's the same gun, it's an extremely high-quality weapon mod, so I'm not too worried about looking at it again. But the Beretta 1301, obviously a different weapon entirely, but similar in function. Italian-made, because that's where Beretta is originally from. Semi-automatic shotgun, which is reloaded by feeding shotgun shells individually through this tube. We've got some bullet counting, reloading mods going on, so we're going to be reloading exactly how many we need to feed this thing. So none of this 5-bullet reload all the time like the lever gun would from Far Harbor. So yeah, modders have gotten around that blunder. Isn't that great? Let's get into the customization. We'll skip over the legendary effect, although something like explosive on a shotgun is pretty gnarly, but we'll resist the temptation for now. We've got a bunch of sights, including aim points, baskers. Ooh, that's tempting. And you'll see when we choose to throw on a scope or a reflex sight, some phantom Picatinny rail just shows up there, which is nice. And some of them appear to be clipping directly through the iron sights there. So the iron sights aren't being removed. We just welded a thingo on top of that, and I guess that we're good to go. Let's go for something a little bit more subtle than usual, because sometimes you don't want a whole widescreen TV on the top of your shotgun. So we'll go for a more subtle approach, and I'm liking the Trigicon SRO there. Same people that make the ACOG sights, so they got to be good, right? Alright, next up we've got the lower rail. To increase your accuracy and recoil control, you can install a foregrip. We're going to use this one because it requires gun nut rank 3, which means it's going to be better, right? Right? Possibly. Look at that accuracy stat. It's 51 now, and it was 37, so that's done actually a lot there. And we've got some stuff we can throw on the right rail. The shotguns, laser sights. We'll throw on a shotgun? No, that's a flashlight, actually. I was looking at a shotgun whilst I said that. And you can throw stuff on the left as well. If you want to double up on laser sights, you can totally do that. If you want to double up on flashlights, then people will think you're driving a car instead of a motorcycle. That'll freak out the local traffic, wouldn't it? Alright, next up we've got the muzzles. And you can throw on some chokes in here, which will increase your accuracy by reducing the spread. And they're interesting, but none of them actually increase range, so you might get slightly more consistent hits over range, but it might not be as damaging as you'd think it would be from sitting far back. But there's also suppressors here, which will increase your damage thanks to Ace Operator, but also at the same time not reduce your range, so I don't see why there's any reason not to throw on a suppressor on this thing if it's not penalizing our range, so that's great. They also tighten our spread a little bit, more time for that gunpowder to combust, I suppose, or longer barrel space to tighten that spread out. And you can change the stocks, a little bit like the M2. You can throw in a pistol grip and like an M1014 looking stock if you feel like it. So I'm going to do that because how tactical is that now? We've completely ruined it in all of its... well, it looks good now. Now it's just... I'm taking the piss here, aren't I? Anyways, you can change the magazine from long, standard, or short. Funnily enough, the standard magazine holds 9+1 rounds. That might be a typo, whereas you'd be able to fit more shotgun shells in the longer tube. So I'm going to trust that one's going to actually increase our ammo capacity, and it's just short enough to not get in the way of the suppressor either, so isn't that nice? And you can change the ammo type: buckshot, dragon's breath, flechettes, or slugs. 12-gauge slugs use it as scope, and you can snipe stuff over range, which is nice, but let's go something like a dragon's breath. We get extra bit of damage there. We're going to lose range a little bit, but since we didn't get any range penalties from the suppressor being attached, then I suppose that's what we'll do with that. So unless the suppressed projectile is different, I feel like we'll be fine to actually use dragon's breath here. And you can change the receivers, agency or standard, which will just actually change the handguard instead, which I guess that looks cool. Take whichever one you looks cooler, but apparently that's not how it works. Let's use the standard one for now. We might check out another one with the agency receiver later. But there's our Beretta. We'll use this thing for a bit, and then we'll switch to other guns. This weapon isn't obtainable by standard means of either crafting or level list injection. So what we're going to have to do to get this thing is utilize console commands. And if you're not sure what you're doing, just follow along at home and I'll show you what to do. Firstly, you're going to open your console commands by hitting that button above tab, little squiggly line. You can't miss it. then you want to actually type and search for the weapon. We know it's called a Beretta 1301. 1301 is a weapon, not a lot of guns getting around with that name, so we'll use that for our search term. So you type in help, space, 1301, 4. That 4 means we're searching for items that the player can hold and utilize, and then we want to narrow that down even further by typing WEP. Follow me so far, hit enter. It spits out a code, easy enough, you can see it, FE043800. Easily done. What we want to do now is add that to the player's inventory. So we go player, all one word, full stop or period, add item, that's all one word too, space after that, FE043800. And there is the code. Don't type in the brackets in that it won't work and Todd Howard will come to your house and punch you in the throat. But should we hit enter now, that'll give us 1. If we want 2, we can type in 2 after a space. If we want 37, type 37 after the space, and so on and so forth. We'll grab 2, hit enter, and bam, we've got 2 extra shotguns in our inventory. It's that easy. Alrighty, here we are outside of the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Am I mad for trying to take on this place with just a shotgun or 2? Probably, but we're going to give it a crack anyway. Here's what the Beretta 1301 Tactical looks like in first person. Aiming down the sights there, I can't help but feel the reflex sight is a little bit off. Oh wait, no, that's the laser sight that I'm looking at. There's a tiny little dot. You probably can't even see it at home, but it's there. That's in the middle of the screen. The laser sight is not, so that's kind of interesting. It's not really a precision weapon anyway. Near enough is good enough for a shotgun, I think, so that's fine. Taking a quick look at this thing in third person. Note the pistol grip and foregrip combination on this thing. It's pretty cool, right? With a tactical light as well, which is activated by hitting... That's not it. It's actually the Pip-Boy button. That's the one, and it's active there. Completely useless during the day, but I think that's a pretty cool feature. And here is one with a foregrip and a rifle stock. You'll see this one's got a suppressor and a scope. This thing is loaded with a bunch of slug rounds for sniping, hopefully. And lastly, this one has the pistol grip and no foregrip, and your animations will change how you hold this thing, and depending on how you've got things up. So that's pretty nice. This one here just has the flesh out rounds and a full choke on the barrel, which makes the spread pretty standard vanilla game, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but we're going to get started today using the slug variant. We'll see how we go. Did the sights line up probably here? They look okay, but we'll see how we go, because shotguns, sometimes they've got projectiles that are slow, sometimes they've got projectiles that are inaccurate. We'll take a stationary target, for example. So my aim is true, but sometimes the projectiles just don't feel like getting there. Although, you get the occasional cheap little headshot for some reason, and no hits on that turret. Might be the tree's hitbox there, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be. And even that guy just standing there, like, not even 10 meters away. I can't even finish him off using this thing. So I'm thinking what I ought to do here is, as that gunner not so subtly sneaks away, is just get them lured in as close as possible and try to just get them with massive critical sneak attacks. That might be the way to go. And I swear I heard someone around... Oh, it's just over the front of that truck there. That'll be fine. And there's the reload, by the way. Despite it being a 8-round individual reloading thing, it'll be fine. Ah! Is it the scope that's off? Because I seem to be hitting everything in third person. It might be the scope that's off. Oh! It's the scope. Well, that's good news. The scope's useless then, isn't it? What we could do now is reload this thing fully, but we can pretend it's like a one-shot rifle, right? Which you'll, it's like a reload after every shot. We can turn this Beretta shotgun into a Martini Henry, and it's an okay thing to do, I suppose. Anyways, they're getting way too close, so we'll get the Dragon's Breath suppressed thing out. No more sneak criticals for me. I'm totally outflanked here, so we'll try to take out this guy, and then we'll assess the situation. And also, when in doubt, VATS with a shotgun. VATSing with a shotgun, very powerful. You get all your projectiles in one spot, and if you want to activate a crit, you're going to negate some of that damage resistance / reduction that your enemies might have. That's why you can kill the overboss if you don't want to use the water pistol against him. If you spam VATS criticals, you will eventually kill him. And the range on this thing, like, you wouldn't expect to hit for that kind of damage for that range with a suppressed combat shotgun. So I feel like we've done pretty good there, I suppose. And from here, yeah, it's alright. But honestly, I feel like we should be elsewhere right now. If we can secure one last kill, that'd be nice. Thanks, Penetrator perk. Now, we've already lost half of our health bar, so I'm going to scoot over this direction, probably switch over to something a little bit less subtle. I feel like the cover's blown. We'll use the flechette rounds now. Okay. If we can't kill him in one magazine, then that's it is. That's it is, friends. I can't deny the gun does sound pretty bloody gnarly when using it in, like, slow motion. That's third person, and that's probably one of the more untimely Nerd Rage activations I've had, but that's fine. We'll get this thing reloaded whilst we're here. There we go. It must be the scope, because I seem to be hitting far more consistently utilizing this thing. And this will be a true test over here. That is an explosive shotgun. That's scary. Okay, you're getting a crit, my friend. And that's all we get. This will be a shotgun battle for the ages. None of us really want to move up. Actually, he's having a crap. Oh, okay. We just killed him with with ricochet. And I think multiple ricochets went off at once because I heard all of that. And then I walked around the corner and got mowed down by an MG42. Welcome to modern firearms, folks. That's what you get. Alright, let's try this again, but with some legendary enhancements. This one here has the Deadeye legendary effect. The Scope Slug version uses the Instigating legendary effect, so if I'm getting these big hits with a full hit bar with the sneak criticals, I'm pretty sure that'll be a one-shot kill every day of the week, which is pretty nice. So we'll start by shooting these turrets, try to lure them over, and if we can get a couple of odd hits as they're coming in, that's not the end of the world. I know we're wasting the Instigating legendary effect on that, but as they start coming in closer, we might be able to utilize it a little bit more effectively. And they're pouring out already. There's one behind that tree. Can we see him? No. Not quite. Not yet. There he is. Bam. One dead already. We might be able to get a little bit of a gun-through streak happening here, which should be pretty nice if we did. Not quite as much damage as I would have liked to see, but I think we dropped one guy from that pack, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, we couldn't capitalize on that guy standing completely outside of cover. This one, he'll go down in a shot, though. If we thin out the herd, we might be able to begin the assault proper. And if we do that, then we might have a shot of actually winning. And we'll try to find out where that MG42 guy is, and we'll gut him for his transgressions. Just seem to be ever so slightly more consistent using the scope. I jammed it. Okay, now it's fine. Anyways, hang on, just get the legendary Deadeye. Bang, dead. Line up those headshots perfectly. Get all, I want to say 8 projectiles. I can't count the numbers on screen because I don't have that in mod installed anymore. But now, it is go time. And if it gets real bad, I'll whip out the secret weapon. The super secret mega weapon. But honestly, actually, now's a good time for a bit of gun through. So, one for you. One for you. One for you. You. Actually, hang on. Dial it back. Let's not shoot at that guy who's that far away. We'll just go there. 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 Look at the gunners strategically damaging themselves so I don't get my utilization of the Instigating legendary effect. The plan's gone bad. Bring out the secret weapon. Enter the explosive version. Flechette rounds, which means I get more projectiles, which means I get more explosive, more damage. What fun. And if they're standing close enough together in order to damage them even more effectively, I'll shoot the one standing next to them, and they'll end up hurting their friend by standing too close to him. You love to see it. Don't bunch up. Scatter your lines, gunners. And that's my advice to you. Let's see if they follow. And hiding next to trees, that won't save them. Nuh-uh. Just hit the ground behind them, and they'll take all of that damage. Now, Let's see if we can find that gunner. Like, proper machine gunner. And it might be disorienting, but every time I'm reloading it, I'm being pulled out of the aim down sights animation. That's why it's sort of, the camera's sort of jolting around. Might have hit this guy. That's actually him. I'm gonna take roughies in his head and nope, okay. He's taken some good cover, but the mysterious stranger comes in clutch there, gets a flank, critical, dead. Excellent. And this guy, not a snowflake's chance in hell, mate. Just don't worry about that frost grenade. They're attacking me with all of the elements, and actually I should probably go and take care of that super gunner up there, because chances are he's going to be picking up that MG42 is going to get picked up by someone else, because the AI will totally do that. If they find a gun that's close and they deal enough damage, or a sufficient amount of damage more than the gun they're currently wielding, they'll pick up that gun and they'll have all of the ammo in the world for it. Now, I think the best gunner tactic here is to just bum rush me, so I get killed by my own explosive weaponry, but I don't think they're quite that advanced. In fact, well, maybe those gunners were sort of charging at me from beyond the thing, and yep, that's a nice little door breach there, and we even get a heal from all of that. And I think the cliplord lady is down there, so should have been more attentive. All that gunfire on the other side of the plaza, it's not like you didn't hear it, so that's your own fault. And it looks like we've got just a couple of dudes left. I'm pretty sure he was carrying... No, he had a AA-12. Good on him. Now, hopefully, with this amount of health, I won't get instantly destroyed by it. Well, they can phase through walls. It's like a Terminator sort of thing, but... Yeah, this is sort of where I killed him, right? No, he's up here. Did anyone pick it up? I'm actually curious. No, they didn't. Okay, well, that's good. But the AA-12, I thought that guy definitely had it because he was around the same spot. But that's fine. Works with classic holstered weapons, the Beretta 1301. So isn't that great? Let's move on to the next thing. For any of you curious about how an explosive shotgun might go against a benchmark like the Swan, well, wonder no further, because we're going to be taking him on today. And that's what we can do. We're just going to skip through this reload real fast using VATS. This is a pretty effective tactic. Let's make sure we get it started first. Thank you. The quick hands perk. Probably one of the most useful things of skipping reloads in history. In fact, I might go over here because I'm kind of getting battered right now. Although I've managed to avoid a lot of the staggers by shenanigans with the third-person camera. And luckily I wasn't going for the sneaky approach here, because the Brotherhood of Steel has shown up. They've got a vertibird, and that's going to aggro Swan for the rest of time, because he's not going to take that thing down. Although I'm pretty sure he might be able to throw rocks at it, but I'm thinking I'm the main target that he's got right now. And I think this one's on ice, ladies and gentlemen. Take a bow, Swan. You've been defeated today. Although I did take half my health, but most of that was due to the carelessness that I was exhibiting as a player. But who am I kidding? You love it. You love it at home. You love my reckless, aggressive approach. Oh, we might actually see the power armor dudes jump out. Oh, they already did. Never mind. It's cool when they do that. Look cool, but... Oh my goodness. Never mind. This Brotherhood Knight probably would have been able to do it all by himself. Anyone else got a MG42? You've got something. Some sort of HK416 sort of looking thing, but that's fine. Okay, let's go for a more stealthy approach on the next fight. Welcome to Sniper Elite Feral Ghoul Wendigo Edition. We're sniping with a shotgun because that makes sense, you know. I'm under no illusions that the shotgun shells and slugs themselves wouldn't be as accurate as 308 projectiles, but... It's a video game. I like my shotguns to be snipers. Let me have this, please. No? Okay. Anyways, whilst we finish off this reload in VATS, we'll line up for another couple of headshots in VATS. And for a sneaky, stealthy weapon for medium range, the shotgun shells aren't letting me down. The slugs, sorry, aren't letting me down. He would be running after the... Just quicker to switch over to the next gun that I had there, but you get the idea. And we did all of that without being detected once, so for a stealth shotgun, it actually does a pretty good job, which for a weapon like this, you kind of want to not use it as like a proper assault shotgun. I think the best shotgun that I can think of for a modern firearm to be used against gunners like that would be like an AA-12 shotgun, which, you know, seeing that the modern firearms has got that thing, maybe we'll check it out tomorrow if people are interested in seeing how that goes. But generally, shotguns really struggle in main assaults. But if you can get it down to just one target and fight things on your own terms, then you'll find that it's a pretty easy fight to win. And I'm just going to stop bleeding, are we? That's just going to pour out forever. You think after losing that much blood, you might be feeling a little bit lightheaded. I'm not sure why the blood just never goes away. I think maybe I've got something on in the INI files that causes that to stick around for way longer than it should, but like, you might want to wash that off. It's completely covered in blood. No, it's transcending the water. That's kind of weird, but anyways, I think you get the idea. So that there was a Benelli M2 agency, except in Beretta 1301 form, and it's a high quality weapon mod, so if you are looking for more of that Benelli M2 goodness in your game, then I suggest checking out this mod, because it's basically the same gun, but with a different coat of paint, a different skin. It's like when you've got the pump-action shotgun with that red rocket skin in Fallout 76. It's the same thing, same goodness, but it looks cool, right? So depending on how you like your aesthetics, then maybe you want to check this out. Link will be in the description if you want it, and if you can't get it on Xbox, then the Benelli M2 is the same thing. It'll pretty much do what you've seen here. Thank you very much for watching, guys.